9-bit.
Hello there, good sir. What is your name?
My name is Ricky Bryan Jr.
Nice to meet you, Ricky. Now, I hear you work for Lantana Games.
I do, yes.
So what are you guys working on right now?
Right now we are working on a game for PC and Linux. It is called Children of Liberty. It is a 2D stealth platformer that takes place the night before the Revolutionary War. You play as 4 children who are working with Paul Revere and Samuel Adams to one, undo the plans of the British and also get back their parents who have been taken prisoner.
Oh, that sounds quite exciting. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your role on the project?
I worked remotely with them as a character animator. Our other gentleman, Mike, he's actually based out of Georgia right now. I have yet to actually meet him. Actually, this weekend at PAX is actually the first time I've actually seen the entire team in person, and it's actually the first time that I've actually seen like the game like in motion. Normally, the way it works is they would send me the character designs and everything. I'd reinterpret them, just so there's a nice consistent look to it, and then I animate it in whatever and the programs I use, and then I send them the frames, and I hope everything works out.
Very nice. Now, what sort of aesthetic are you aiming at with Children of Liberty?
Well, the project was the director, Dan Silverstein. The project was originally something that he had pitched to a local children's organization here in Boston, I guess as an educational tool. For whatever reason, that particular project had fell through, but they still thought that it was a great idea, so they started to follow through with it as like an independently produced game on its own. So based off of what the original work that he did, it has kind of a cartoony look to it. Like all the characters are like done in hand-drawn 2D sprites, but the backgrounds of the game itself is actually done in 3D, and the whole thing is packaged together in Unity.
Wow, it sounds beautiful.
It looks pretty nice.
So how would you describe the art style? Like, is it sort of Art Nouveau, clear line, or?
It has kind of a I'd say kind of a mix of a Saturday morning storybook type of look to it. Because like it's actually something that I could actually equate it to would be kind of a mix of Mark of the Ninja and Paper Mario.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because like a lot of the it has an instance where like as you turn corners, like pretty much the entire environment turns with you.
A little like Fez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, and like you would. As the characters turn themselves, you would kind of like see them go two-dimensional and turn along with the camera. But like it really helps with the aesthetic that they had from the way the project was previously.
Wow, that sounds gorgeous. So when can we expect to see it out?
Right now, I don't have a definite answer for that, just because the company is currently bankrupt at the moment. Like, actually, they spent their last penny on like getting PAX here. So, what they're doing right now is like they're looking for funding through Tesura, and they're also on a Steam Greenlight. Actually, if you go down to the exhibitor floor, and actually, if you come in from the east side, I believe they're right there at the entrance. If you donate $10, you will get a code to download the game in its current form, and pretty much every time, whenever they get around to like make any updates to the game, pretty much with that code, you're entitled to everything from like here until now until the end of time for that. So like pretty much you're helping to fund the project continuity, and you pretty much get everything that's coming with it.
Now, what games would you say served as an inspiration for it?
Served as an inspiration, and again, I'm going by just all the information I've gotten within the last day and a half from Dan. I would say definitely. Obviously, as I mentioned, Paper Mario as far as from an aesthetic standpoint, but pretty much a lot of the old school stealth games, because like stealth, like since you're playing as like a four kids basically against like the British army, they have only got a handful of things that they can use to defend themselves. So a lot of the gameplay revolves around you getting the drop on your enemies. Like one of the characters is a little girl who fights with a yo-yo. Her method of taking down enemies is just like pulling this weird little snake maneuver where it wraps around the enemy character's ankles, and then she just strings them up Batman style. I actually had that's not in the build that's on the floor right now, but I really wished it was, because that was one of the sequences that I had animated it, and I was really proud of that. So
So it's sort of like any inspiration from Metal Gear, I suppose, the original NES.
The concept of like of using stealth to take down your enemies, like I think that like the original NES Metal Gear definitely pioneered that. So like that's one of the obvious influences, I would think.
Very neat. Well, I'm going to have to definitely check out this game. Do you guys have like an official website?
It would be lantanagames.us, and also if you just Google Children of Liberty, that should be able to take you to the Lantana Games site. You can also look for it on Steam Greenlight, and that should point you in the direction of Desura as well. Yeah, they didn't get it. I should grab a couple of the cards there, but yeah, if you can actually probably check them out on the show floor after you're done here, and like once you go to the website, they actually have got a press kit available as well, so they've got some video of the game and whatnot. So if you feel like pimping us on your site,
that's my specialty.
Help. Yeah, but it'd be nothing but a big help, so I'm sure that Dan would appreciate it.
Yes, it's a pleasure meeting you, good sir.
It's a pleasure meeting you. Thank you. Last April, the game Skullgirls came out. You know, it did well. You know, it was like one of the best-selling games on the PSN for like a good couple of weeks, and it's currently still the best-selling game on the PSN in Japan right now because they just released it for that. But then, yeah, we were all set to start DLC work on Squiggly. It was the next character for that. But right around that time, Autumn Games got caught up in a lawsuit involving them, Konami, and a local bank over the credit that they had taken out for Def Jam Rap Star, which was a game that came out like a little while beforehand. Yeah, the game didn't do that, but like it had absolutely nothing to do with Reverge Labs, which was a studio that was made Skullgirls at the time. But it had everything to do with it because Autumn was the people who was paying Reverge Labs to do it. So the entire team got laid off, and pretty much like Mike Zamont, the game's designer, and probably one or two other guys, they pretty much spent a good next 6 to 9 months without pay, chipping away at the PC version and the patch that needed to be done on the Xbox and PSN versions of the game. They managed to get the PSN version out a couple months ago. We're still waiting on Microsoft's certification so that we can put the Xbox Live version out there. But if for whatever reason, by the time Squiggly is done, if for whatever reason it's not done, that patch will be included with Squiggly. But basically what we're doing with the Indiegogo campaign, I think we've got probably like 5 days left on it. We launched it earlier this month. We basically reached out to the fans and be like, hey, it's going to cost us like $150,000 to keep everybody paid for certification and everything to get this character done. We made that in less than 20 hours. Which was awesome. So, but then we still had 29 days left. So we made a couple of stretch goals. We had the second character, which also got funded. It was our character's big band. We got him a voice actor. We funded his story mode and his animation and everything. And we, as of right now, I think we are a little less than $70K away to fund a third character, which is going to be voted on by the fans and everything. So it's a very exciting time. Like the entire team is like super grateful to the fans and everything, and it's been super humbling just to see people come out to support something they love, and it's really it was really encouraging for the future of independently developed video games, and just for traditionally created 2D hand animated games and just fighting games in general. So it's and very happy to keep getting work. Very happy about that.
You really don't know what goes on behind the scenes,
No, and I think that was another thing that's that helped the funding. It's just they have been ever since day one of this thing. They reformed as Lab Zero. They have been completely transparent about everything that's gone into the process. And actually, 3 times a week we have a stream through Twitch TV showing us working on the game, just to show the main team working on the game, just to show that their money is not being wasted on it. Mario Kart, right? and Jonathan. Oh God, I forget. I'm blanking on his last name. But they're the two main animators on the game. They do a stream where it shows them like a working on like the keyframes and eventually gets sent out to the animation contractors. Richard Kim, the guy who I answer to, like it's a head cleanup guy. He shows some stuff. The gentleman who was working on the palettes just did a stream last week. Mike Z, the actual programmer, he's shown like this super exciting work that is programming in sprites. And every Thursday night, the team gets together at Fruit Seas, which is like this little boba place in California, and like they have this thing called Salty Cupcakes, which is basically a miniature Skullgirls tournament, but then also like the voice actors and Mike and Alex Ahad, the creator of the game itself, they get on the stream and like they talk with the people in the chat sessions, and like they bounce back and forth between talking to like the people behind the game and like the people who are actually playing the game right there live. So like having that community interaction has definitely been a big help as well, and it's something I think some more other game companies should probably do more.
Agreed.
So yeah, My Little Pony Fighting is Magic was a fan-made project that a group who called themselves Main Six was working on. It was basically a fighting game where you played as the characters from My Little Pony and you made them fight. I mean, it wasn't violent or anything. Like it actually had like a pretty decent. They were using 2D Fire Maker, which is like a freeware 2D fighting making program, and they showed it off at like a different fighting game tournaments and stuff, and you're gradually building up on it. And for a while, Hasbro they weren't trying to make any kind of money out of it. For a while, Hasbro was okay with it because they weren't trying to give it any kind of, they weren't trying to do anything huge with it. But a couple months ago, Shoryuken.com, who helps run Evolution, which is like the premier fighting game tournament in Las Vegas every year. They were doing a breast cancer drive to like help to decide what the eighth game in their slot was going to be. And the way they were doing it is that they would ask people to give to breast cancer research foundation, and they would be donating in the name of their favorite game. Like if you wanted Street Fighter 3 Third Strike to be included, you'd be donating some money, and then I go towards that. The top three contenders were Skullgirls, Super Smash Bros. Melee, and initially My Little Pony Fighting is Magic. The thing about it is, the crazy thing was, that game was in no shape to actually be shown off to anybody. But in spite of that, the fans had donated over $5,000 at least from the first week of the donation drive in that game's name. But then the Main Six went and said, okay, guys, listen. If you're going to be donating to this, donate it because you love the cause, donate it because you love the game, but don't donate to it just because there are ponies in it. And the donation slowly stopped because of that. But they said, the guys who were running Evo, they basically said, even if it gets the most, it won't be included as the eighth game, but we'll have a little exhibition on the side. In the end, it was Smash Brothers Melee won, and Skullgirls got second, and I think Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo got third. But raised over $70,000 towards breast cancer research. It was awesome. But I think at that time, that was probably the straw that it broke Hasbro's back, because the donation drive had put more of a spotlight on the game than they were comfortable with, so they issued a cease and desist to Main Six for it. So that pretty much had killed the project up until then. But Lauren Faust, the creator of the original show, she had been having a dialogue with these guys. So what they're doing is they're starting from the ground up. They're using original characters, and so they're not. So the work isn't completely wasted. And what Mike Zaymont had did in the midst of the Skullgirls' own fundraiser is he had offered they would offer the license for the engine that was used for Skullgirls to the guys at Main Six to use, and they would completely waive the licensing fee if our campaign makes it to $725,000. So which is great because licensing fee for a video game engine can be really expensive, and they're an independent produced studio, and I think our panel's going to start. Wait, this meeting's not.
What the? Where'd that rapscallion go? There he is.
9 bit